Hello viewers, Super GT here. Welcome to the very first race of this series, the Virtual Super Trofeo League. So league racing is back on the channel. I'm sure many of you will be pleased to see that. So we're just very quickly going to take a look at some details here. So this is linked in the description if you want to take a look. So 9-round championship, and it's going to be roughly every 2 weeks apart from the last round. So you can see there the format. It's a 50-minute race with a 15-minute qualifying session, one quick stop. There is the calendar, so every 2 weeks apart from Mugello at the end, just 1 week after Nürburgring. And here we go then. This is Suzuka. I've qualified in 7th on the grid out of 17. We've got some very good fast drivers in the lobby, so we're looking forward to a very fast and furious frenetic race. So immediately getting the jump there on Alpine Arts straight up into 6th place, and that is Roadrunner going very wide from pole position and going straight down the pecking order. So I've gained 1 position there already, well 2 now, 5th place. Going to try and keep it solid. So WR Cami just up ahead. Up ahead of him is F4H Racers, my teammates, so we are together in a 2-man team for this championship. Just ahead of him, you may remember the name, for those of you who are hardcore Super GT fans back from around about 2012. The guy in the blue car there in second, X Shuffle. We used to race him on the Legends League Racing series, so many of you may know his name. So it's good to see him back. And coming into the hairpin, you see I lost a bit of momentum through the Degner corners. It's a very hard track to get right, and especially in this car, it's very powerful. It does like to oversteer quite a lot, so you have to tame that. Did a fair bit of practice, I mean about 15 laps, and we were lapping low 202s, high 201s with the very quicker guys in the low 201s. But I felt like my pace was good for this race, and you can see here not losing too much time, although over that curb a bit rickety. And we have the Alpine Arts just behind, with Cami just in front. So the WR guys are doing very well. Virus out in the lead and already stretching that margin to second. And that's Racers up the inside of Shuffle into the chicane, but it's not a clean move, so he's going to have to back out, let Shuffle retake second place, and then it's going to form a 4-car train here as a battle for second place, as Virus is already streaking away. So we're going to cross the line at the end of lap number 2. It's effectively lap number 1 because the first lap was just a rolling up formation lap, as it was a rolling start. So into the turn number 1. The turn 1 is kind of just an entry for turn 2, but it does feel very nice to take. And it's very good just to be back at Suzuka. It's one of the best tracks that's ever been in Forza. And it's really good that Mugello is back, and it's going to suit this car very nicely, I think. So I can't wait for Mugello, the last round of the season. So just a 9-round championship, but it's good to finally get some proper racing under my belt on this game. Can be going very wide, just grazing some of the cones as we approach the Degner corner. So he's lost, you can see there, lost a bit of time to Racers, and I'm going to go into the back of him there. Bit of a nudge, but he's not going to lose too much time as we come through Degner 2 towards the hairpin. So braking at the edge of that curb, basically the end of that curb is your braking point, and Cami's gone very deep. So in these early stages it seems to be a bit phased, perhaps by my proximity area being so close. Now this is lap number 6. You can see there I've got proximity area now, and that is none other than AMS Roadrunner. So current FRC champion, Forza Racing Championship is right on my back, or Forza Racing Champion is right on my back. So plenty of pressure from behind at the moment, but we're going to do our best to try and get past Cami here into the chicane. So I think coming through 130, I got a good run. You can see that I was going to go for the move, and he went defensive, but just completely forgot to brake. And that's Roadrunner in behind going into the pit lane, so we're going to have to be wary of that. This is lap number 9. So I'm currently in 4th place, and Shuffle is just up ahead. So Racers has got through, and you can see they got away by a couple of seconds. Virus is way gone by about 1,000 feet. He's about crossing the start line now. So I was going to go into the pit lane that lap, but I didn't want to follow shuffling. I didn't know when he was going to go in, so he's went in. And he's just gone in there. So you see my fuel 65% and the tyres were worn slightly. Now this is lap number 12. I was kind of lapping on my own for a few laps there. The race kind of spread out a little bit. Alpine Arts, if anything though, was catching up slightly towards the end of that stint. So at the end of the pit lane we can see exactly how we've done compared to Shuffle. There he goes in the blue car. So if anything I've lost a couple of seconds, maybe about a second. So it wasn't the best kind of stint for me at the end of that stint, as I was trying to overhaul him, so perhaps try and get some good laps in, but it didn't quite materialise that way. In fact, he actually got away from me. So we are about halfway into the race, as you can see, lap 13 of 26. We're looking at 50-minute races each time, so fairly lengthy, so you do have to have concentration for a fair amount of time. And it is very easy around this track to get it wrong, especially these Degner corners. They used to be my favourite corners, but actually they're so hard to get right. And it's one of the ones I could not get right consistently throughout the whole race. Running a little bit wide on the exit. But this is lap number 19, so a couple of laps went by with not much action. But you see here, I have slowly managed to catch up. So we're going to run a lap here and see if I can do any more about catching up with Shuffle. Looks like third might be the best shout at the podium at the moment, because second place Racers is a good couple of seconds further on, and it's very unlikely I'll be able to catch him up with just 7 laps remaining. It's coming through this very tricky corner. You have to be very brave on the exit, running out to the curb. It's very easy to drag 2 wheels onto the grass there, and you're going so wide if you do that, and you absolutely just do not want to do that at all, because you will lose so much time, because it just seems to be a never-ending corner, that one. Now out of Degner 2, you can see again, this seems to be where I'm very much the closest to Shuffle, into the hairpin. Now he's gone very deep there, and he's going to lose a little bit of momentum. He can just kind of square off the corner though to get a decent exit as we go through the long curve towards the spoon curve. Again, one of the hardest corners to get right, because the first apex is okay. I mean, there's a shadow on the right hand side here, you just brake on the end of it and just turn the car in. But then this one here is kind of really tricky to get right. You kind of brake, well, it's really hard to judge exactly where to brake, and then you just kind of want to accelerate as you go towards a very late apex. And you can see here, this is about as close as I've been for a good 6 or 7 laps, basically since this second stint started. Coming through 130i, a little bit sideways from Shuffle, but he didn't lose too much time into the chicane. I'll say I was better on the brakes than him. If there's one place I was better, it was into the chicane on the brakes, and perhaps down the main straight. He seemed to have really good bottom end and middle end in his car, but my top speed was a little bit better. So this is lap number 21 now. You can see here again, he's running very wide, so he was making plenty of mistakes. He was complaining though that he had a lot of issues with the frame rate. Now this is a bit further on. Now you can see I'm up into third. F4H Racers unfortunately had a disconnect, so I'm on the podium already. Roadrunner's catching up with us though. But then as we come through Degner 1, he just dips 2 wheels onto the grass on the outside, and it's just going to throw him wide, and he's going to go completely into the gravel. So somehow, after all of this, I found myself in second place with 4.5 laps remaining, and this is going to be a very tense finale, because as we go on to the final lap, you can see the AMS Roadrunner, so again, Forza Racing Championship winner in Le Mans. You know, this guy is very, very quick on this game, so when someone like that is behind you, you definitely know about it. So I've got a lap here to try and keep him behind, and to be honest, he was about 500 feet behind when Shuffle went off a few laps ago, and he's only really just brought it down to about 100 feet now, so it took him a couple of laps to gain, so I was fairly happy with the pace, lapping consistently in the low 202s or high 201s with a fastest of 201.7, which isn't too far off the ultimate pace. So coming through towards the Degner curves, can I get them right this time around? striking the first apex, it's very easy to drag your two wheels onto that curb. So you can see there, I wasn't taking too much risk. If you get your wheels caught on the edge of the curb, it can be game over. So I was trying not to get my wheels on the curb. So I was taking the Degner one quite conservatively through the hairpin. Not too bad, and actually it doesn't seem as though he's making an impression on this final lap. He's going to really have to put out the bag if he wants to get this second place, because we are running out of corners and he is running out of time. It's coming to spoon curve. This is the last lap. This is the last time we come through this very difficult corner. The second apex, accelerating on the late apex there on the curb, and then nicely out to the outside. We have got just a few corners remaining. 130R, one of the most fearsome corners. It's actually not flat out in this car. Maybe it is in a Formula 1 car, but definitely not this one. And it's quite hard to judge. I took it quite conservatively, a little bit sideways. I know I had a bit of a margin, so there wasn't too much point in taking too much risk into the chicane. Nicely hitting the first apex and then the second. And we are going to come through to finish in second place after Alvarez with a very dominant win. But that is a really pleasing result. I mean, I guess a couple of people did have issues. F4H Racing with a disconnect. But still, to come through to finish in second there with good pace, 201.7. Really pleasing result. Now this first race isn't actually going to count towards the championship because there's so many issues with disconnects and just the lobby being absolute shite. So I don't think Forza 7 is truly ready for esports at the moment. But we'll do our best, and hopefully we'll have some updates soon, and hopefully it will be working a lot better. But there are the results. There'll be more information in the description regarding some links towards the official website. So if you want to check out more info, then do have a look in there. But that does bring a close to this video, the first round of the Virtual Super Trofeo. I do hope you enjoyed it. So roughly every 2 weeks I'll be bringing out a video for this. And do let me know your thoughts. I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching as always. Goodbye.